Hi there, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the GameMaker Studio 2.3 Sprite Editor. I'm going to go over some of the stuff I know about animation with you, and really this is the same as GameMaker Studio 2. The only difference is now all the frames are lined up down here on the bottom, and when you hit play you see it run through there. Also in GameMaker Studio 2.3 the frames per second is set to a default of 30 instead of 15. Which I think is a little too fast, but I'm just used to 15. I'm going to show you how I made this animation, because it was incredibly simple. When you know what you're doing, or can at least fake it like I do, you can come up with some pretty cool shortcuts to get neat effects like this, where you've got light traveling through like a certain path, and it's very simple and fast. So I'm going to show you how I did it. First, we're going to get our sprites. I'm just going to create a new one. If it looks like I'm kind of slow and fumbling around, I'm still not quite used to the 2.3 update, so I apologize if it takes me a minute to find something incredibly basic. We're going to hit edit image. We're going to start a new one. Now, I went over all the tools and stuff with you in the last video, but you know, I didn't really go over tools, or I didn't go over colors. Here's something really important. You can import colors from a sprite, which means that if you download an image, like say the Nintendo palette or something like that, the NES palette, you can import it here and then you can make a palette out of that. So that's a cool thing. You should mess around with that. That is the only drop-down box on here. Okay, so now that you know all about the tools and how to use all this stuff, so the animation frames up here, you can add or subtract frames. Simple enough. You can use onion skin, so like let's just go ahead and start. There we go. I can hit Control C and Control V and make copies of that. I'm just gonna add some frames. I'm gonna turn on the onion skin. And onion skin shows you what's in front and what's behind of the current layer you're on, which is pretty great. Honestly, it is absolutely necessary. And you can drag it out as far as you want. Like I can see what's in the last few. You can see it gets more faded as we move away from it. Onion skin is an incredibly powerful tool. Not everybody uses it, but I love it. I think it's great. This button, of course, makes it so that you loop the animation. If you hit it one more time, it does the ping pong, which means it goes forward and backwards, or no repeat at all. Another really cool thing you can do with GameMaker Studio 2 is you can draw while it's animating. So I'm going to make a few more of these. I'm going to hit play. It's going really fast. So this is going to be kind of crazy, but I'm just kind of drawing, I'm kind of doodling on it as it's animating. And now I've got stuff going on. And it was super simple and fast. It was really cool. So how about that? It's pretty neat, right? Oh, and there's the ping pong. Doesn't look as good. But there's the looping animation. Now, animation, and that's pretty much most of the tools you have at your availability here. A lot of the other stuff is going to be done with code instead of in the sprite editor. There is a sequence editor, which gives you a lot of freedom from what I understand, but I haven't had time to mess around with it yet, so I don't have any advice on the sequence editor. But I'm going to show you how I did the light traveling down the path. I'm going to do that by creating something that would be incredibly annoying to animate, because it would just be too much to do efficiently. And I'm going to show you how to do it very efficiently. So I'm just going to make some random designs here. Maybe it looks like a conduit or something, I don't know. All right, so we've got this kind of complex set up. And I'm going to have light travel through it. So let's go ahead and just replace this color with black. And I'm going to hit Control C and then Control V and make a bunch of these, right? Then I'm going to use the line tool. I'm just going to create a line going straight down like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to start a new layer. That's the most important thing. Take advantage of layers by all means. Absolutely use layers. They're incredible. Now, you know what? We're going to copy it with the layer on there. So now I'm just going to move this a little bit each frame. And I'm going to turn on the onion skin so I can tell exactly where it is. And we're just gonna kind of zip across the screen. There we go. So now when we hit play, it goes across. A little too fast, but it goes across. Let's actually slow that down. Like 12. Let's try 12. Let's try 15. Okay, cool. Let's go back in here. Looks like this one jumps down a little bit. We want to bring that back up. Actually, for this one in the middle, just because I think it'd look cool, it's gonna be thicker as it's moving its fastest. Okay, so anyway, we've got that now. We're gonna go over to the bottom layer and we're gonna choose the magic wand, which is W, and we're gonna click outside. We're gonna turn contiguous off, and we're gonna click outside of the actual pattern, right? And then we're gonna go up to the layer above it. Actually, let's go over something real quick. Layer above, you've got the blend modes, which are pretty neat. If you subtract, it actually doesn't do what I meant. Guys, check out, if you have multiply on, it only shows what's under there. Multiply actually removes white, I think, and in doing so, because we have a white bar going across, you don't even see it anymore. So all you see is what's under it. We're gonna go back to normal for now, but definitely play around with those. The add and multiply are really neat. So like I said, we're gonna use the magic wand to select what's not the layer that we're the design that we're working on, and it's gonna put a selection tool around everything outside of it, and then we're gonna select the layer above it, and we're going to grab a big eraser, and we're just gonna erase outside of it. And then, you know, you can go back and forward frames with the 1 and 2 keys, and then 3 animates it. So we're just gonna use, I'm just hitting 2 and then going forward and erasing. Boom, okay. So now we've got it. So like, and we could even turn off the layer under it. And now you've got kind of this cool pattern where light's going through there. And let's go one better. Let's go to blur. Actually, wait. Let's copy and paste this layer. So right click on it and hit duplicate layers, and the one under it, we're going to go effects blur. I'm gonna go like an intensity of 3 maybe. I'm gonna say you want both horizontal and vertical. It just does exactly what it says. You've got a blur type either box or Gaussian. You could apply it to the selected layer, visible layers, or all layers. We're just gonna go with selected layer and apply to all frames. So now every frame has like a slight glow to it. And you've got a glow effect going through there. And I think that's pretty cool, and it's very fast too. And you know, you could have made, instead of using the line pattern, You could have done circle or like a, here, we're gonna try a new one. Try a V shape. See how this looks. Okay, let's do the same thing. There we go. Okay. That's an interesting look to it. It's all right. And you could do some really cool stuff where you spell out words or something like that, or you have electricity crackle over somebody. Like if you were to hit a robot with a magnet or something, maybe you have like electricity go over them. And that would be a really easy way to get an interesting effect. Try all of it. Oh, right, I deleted that stuff. Anyway, there you go. And I hope this was useful. That's one of the ways that I kind of came up with like this effect traveling through like the path. And I thought it was pretty neat, and it's not very obvious. Not hard at all, but it's just not very obvious, so hopefully that helps you guys out. If there's something else you'd like to see, let me know. I'll do my best to go over it with you. And thank you for your time. Appreciate it.